There are literally a million ways to be successful. But here's the thing that most people do not understand. None of those matter if you do not have this one thing. Keep watching to figure out if you have it, and if you don't, how to get it. I'm Chad Carden, and I have worked with thousands of leaders across the globe to help them be successful in their business. There are a few, however, who never made it because they did not have the right foundation. Here's the truth. A million ways to be successful. None of them matter unless you have this one thing, and that is mindset. Top successful people, again, however you define success, comes down to mindset. How are you waking up and approaching the day mentally? How are you setting yourself up for success internally? Are you taking an abundance approach? Are you taking a scarcity approach? Are you taking a positive approach? Are you taking a negative approach? Let's double click on mindset a little bit and get into what that means. Successful people, the mindset is bold. They are bold in their actions. Some would even call them radical in their actions. They are true to their mission. They are clear on what they want to accomplish, and they take bold action to get there. 2, risk takers. These people are not afraid to fail. It's not about worrying about if you're going to win or lose. These people know what they need to do. They take risks, and if they fail, they get up, dust themselves off, and start over again. That's the mindset that you need to truly be successful. You have to be willing to take risks. Somebody once told me that the greatest risk in the world is being unwilling to take a risk. There are so many people that play it safe. So many people that are just in their comfort zone. They just kind of do things. They wake up and they start something, they end something, they go to bed, they do the same thing over and over and over. Mindset comes down to what type of risk am I taking to ultimately reach the success that I want to reach? That's the question you have to ask yourself. I always say that I'm comfortable enough to tell you that half the time I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm confident enough to tell you that I'll figure it out. When I started this journey over 2.5 decades ago, I really had no idea of what I was getting into. I thought I wanted to be a motivational speaker. I'd watch Zig Ziglar, I'd watch my dad, I'd watch all these other people on the stage, and I said that's what I want to do with my life. I was able to be around some really good people. I was able to find opportunities that allowed my skills to grow, that allowed success to happen, that just organically built a network around me that allowed me for future opportunities. Some of those opportunities are still coming true today from 2.5 decades ago. I had no idea what I was getting into. I packed up my car and drove from St. Louis, Missouri to Los Angeles, California without any game plan because 2 gentlemen who had just left the Carnegie world gave me an opportunity for 1 year to see if I could work within their organization. I didn't even know what I was getting paid. I just said yes. That's what we're talking about mindset. That's what we're talking about taking risk. That's what we're talking about being bold. What are your dreams? What are your visions? You should wake up every single day, and some of your dreams should excite the hell out of you and also scare the shit out of you. That's ultimately what we're talking about when we talk about mindset. If you need help with establishing the right mindset for success, download my free Ultimate Success Cheat Sheet. The link is in the captions. Here's another interesting little tidbit. You make promises to yourself every single day. I'll do this, I'll do that. I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to stop doing that. But you break them almost as quick as you make them. That's one of the things that I find that top successful people really do is they keep the promises they make to themselves. It is a game changer when I heard that statement. Keep the promises you make to yourself. What are those non-negotiables? Things that you are not willing to compromise on because you know it's the right thing to do and it's going to help you move in a direction that ultimately leads to your definition of success. My dad once told me there's never a wrong time to do the right thing, right? And so what are those things that you wake up every single day to and you keep making those promises and you keep breaking those promises? Find those non-negotiables. Start with one. Start with one non-negotiable. Every single day, I'm going to commit to X, whatever that is. Think about your goals. Think about what's important to you. Think about how you show up. Find that and start. Build that right habit, break that wrong one, and watch the results just magically appear. So when it comes to non-negotiables, it's a tough one. When it comes to keeping the promises you make to yourself, It's a tough one. I'm not saying it's easy. Nothing's easy out there. This is a constant battle in my life. I am waking up every single day. I am pulled in a million different directions professionally. I'm pulled in a million different directions personally. I've got 2 boys that I love. I've got a loving wife at home. I've got a successful business. I've got a team out there. I've got clients we have to serve. I've got all these different avenues that are pulling my way. I have to create what I call anchor points in my life every single day. And about 5 years ago, I made a decision that there were going to be some non-negotiables every day I woke up. Here are a few of mine. Might not mean anything to you. Here are a few to mine. Number 1, I am going to always put my health first. My health is my number 1, because if I'm not healthy, none of it matters. I can't be a good husband. I can't be a good father. I can't be a good business owner. I can't be good to my clients. So those are non-negotiables. There's something I'm going to do every single day, which comes down to what I put in my body, which comes down to how I relax, which comes down to my movement, which comes down to my sleep. Those 4 elements of my health are non-negotiables. There's something that I'm going to do to help move me forward every single day. Another one is my family. I'm going to do something every single day. My massive transformational purpose in life is impact. That's my massive transformational purpose. I'm going to do something every single day that impacts my family, impacts my boys, impacts my wife, and I am never going to lay my head on a pillow, big or small, without that opportunity to do that. That's a non-negotiable for me. And another non-negotiable for me is to spend time internally. I call it faith. You can call it meditation. You can call it whatever you want. That's a non-negotiable for me, because I have to really feel centered and show up at my best so I can be at my best. Which takes me into my third point, which is sometimes we have to be selfish. I know this seems counterintuitive because you've been taught all your life, don't be selfish, right? You've taught your life to worry about other people. I'm telling you, sometimes it's really hard to be at your best when you're not at your best. When your tank is empty, it's hard to give. You can't run on an empty tank in a car, right? You have to put gas in it. It's the same thing being selfish. Most of us spend the majority of our time looking in the window. We're worried about everything else. We're worried about our work. We're worried about our family. We're worried about our friends. We're worried, whatever the hell we're worried about everything else. And rarely do we take time to look in the mirror and worry about us and say, what is it that I need? What is it that you need to be successful? What do you need to make sure you're showing up at your best? Because I can tell you, when I'm not at my best, I'm not the best dad. I'm not the best husband. My wife will certainly attest to that. I'm not the best business owner. I'm not the best in front of my clients. I'm not the best in front of a camera. When I'm not at my best, it's really hard to show up and be at my best. I can fake it for so long, and so can you. But ultimately, it's about how can we get selfish in a good way that allows us to be impactful when we're out there looking in the window and worried about everybody else. So what are things that you can do? How do you need to fill your tank? What are those areas that you need to make sure that you're staying on top of so you can be out there and maneuver through all the BS that's happening right now, all the noise that you're dealing with, all the stress and anxiety? How can you make sure you're setting up for success? By looking in the mirror and making a few shifts. So take time to grow your number 1 asset, which is you. Big or small, it doesn't matter. Take action, find ways to fill your tank and be even better and show up at your best. So again, there are a million ways to be successful, but none of them matter if you don't have the right mindset, if you're not bold, if you're not taking risks, if you don't see things from an abundant lens, if you're not creating those non-negotiables, if you're not keeping the promises you make to yourself. Nothing really matters if you're not being selfish in a positive way and looking in the mirror and make sure your tank is full. Those things really create the foundation that allow you to live into those other million items that help you be successful. What can you do? What can you shift? What can you change to create the right mindset and move towards your goals? Whatever that is, do it today.